Hey guys, it's Kels back at it again with another Friday Night Live. I promised you that each and every Friday night I would show my face. That has not happened. That was 2022's promise. We are now up into 2023. So the promises are a bit different around here. The promises are a bit different. I am not promising you that I'm gonna go live each and every Friday night like I did all through 2022, but I am promising you that I will show my face. Now, I know y'all probably like, are you confused or not? Because the last video I put up on my YouTube channel was talking about we need to talk. I'm kicking rocks to YouTube, going over to my new channel. But I did tell you guys that I was going to continue a few things over on this channel. And so I want to get into that a little bit more tonight, explain that to you. I also want to talk about the energy we've been feeling for the last couple of weeks. We are into the mid to end of February. So I want to talk about how you guys' year has been so far. And I also want to tell you a little bit about some travel that I'm getting into and some career changes that have shifted. And I just want to reconnect with y'all. I miss you guys. I said I was definitely not going to be abandoning the collective, and I will not be doing that. But before we get into all of that, I want to do our regular cheers. This week we are cheersing to discipline. We are cheersing to tenacity. We are cheersing to normalizing our new normal, normalizing a new normal, getting into new spaces, new energy, new places, and normalizing that quickly so that we can get comfortable with the newness that is all around us so far in 2023. Let me know if you're feeling that or if you're not. Let me know if you want to cheers to something different or if you're not. I'm open to all of that, all of that, all of that. But with that being said, clink, 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 clink. Cheers, collective. You guys know it is a little. Yes, let me know that you can hear me and that you can see me. It's looking like it's glitching a little bit, but we're. Hey, Ganesh. And then I'm seeing Graham S. Bonsoir from France in the building. What's good? Graham S. from France in the building. Actually, I do think it's a little bit of StreamYard glitching right now because you guys know I have my monitor right below me. Chewing on ice, a little sexual frustration. Or so they say when you chew on ice. But anyway, I'm looking at the feed. It's coming in pretty clear as I can see, but I think StreamYard is glitching a little bit tonight. But we're going to still make it do what it do. You know, one monkey don't stop no show, so we're still going to make it do what it do. Good and Rich is saying, yeah, it's good. Oh my goodness. I think, all right, let's see. I hope is that better? I hope that's a little bit better. All right, we're gonna sprinkle some fairy dust on it and we're gonna keep it moving. Hopefully it's all good. All right, so we did our cheers for the night. We said hello to the few folks that are in the building. If you're catching us live, appreciate that. Smash, smash, smash that like button. You know, it helps us get seen in this YouTube world. And I'm gonna talk about that in a little bit and explain myself as to why I said I'm chucking deuces on this channel. I have to explain myself. I will do that. You already know, smash the like button if you're watching this live. And if you're a part of the replay gang, chime in the comments. We still want to hear what you have to say. You could drop this emoji in the chat if you're feeling so inclined. Or you can just like talk to us like we're here live. You know, we'll be back soon enough. And so replay gang is strong around these parts. So if you're catching us live or if you're catching us on the replay, it's all love. All right? Yes. So, first things first, Before I get into explaining myself as to why I put that video on this channel talking about, peace out to YouTube. Okay. I just changed it up a little bit. Hopefully that brings you guys back to the live. Seeing 555 on the clock if you're into numbers like I am. We know 555 is a huge indication of change coming in. I just took the Wi-Fi off, so I'm hoping that that helps with some of the glitchiness tonight. Let me know what you were thinking. Okay. I see you guys are streaming in. Appreciate you being here for the live. This is actually our second live for 2023. We're into February. You guys know that all last year we went live every single Friday for our Friday night kickback, 52 weeks straight. This year we're changing it up a little bit. We're still going to go live on this channel. We're still going to do some travel content on this channel as well. But as I said at the top of the broadcast, I'm going to get into that in a little bit and share a little bit more about what I'm feeling like with this channel. But before we did that, we did our cheers. And now let's talk about the energies of this week and the past couple days. Let me know if you're feeling this or not. But for me, it's just been a little bit stressful and a little bit like dealing with some, I'm going to just say devil energy. It's just some harder energy, some fear, some lack, some energy around that, the denser energies to deal with during the week. And I think it's for a couple of reasons. One is February, and whenever you get into February, this is like the tail end of the winter, and this is always the hardest time for me. And I always forget that February is a very, very difficult month because we've been out with lack of sun, lack of vitamin D for a few months now if you're in the northern hemisphere. And it's starting to get towards the tail end. So you really have to start powering through. You know what I mean? We really have to start powering through. Good and rich. Are you okay, boo? I see sad faces. Hopefully the glitchiness is not getting you too down. We're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna keep it moving. Good and rich is saying definitely felt devil energy this month. Seriously. What do we mean by devil energy? It just means that it has, for me, and I can only speak personally, and you'll know what it means for you by tuning into your own intuition of what that heaviness feels like. But typically it feels like a heaviness. It feels like a lack of money, lack of love, lack of companionship. You might feel lonely. You might feel like you don't have enough. You don't have enough money. You don't have enough love. You don't have enough friends. You don't have enough support. It's just this feeling of lack, of disconnectedness from yourself, of disconnectedness from source, of disconnectedness from the divine, of disconnectedness from God. Any feeling that feels like you don't have enough, like you're grasping at straws, like you're drowning, that is a devil, is what we call devil energy. You know what I mean? And we're not talking about it in terms of biblical devil religious. No, we're talking about energetics here. You guys know that I'm definitely into spirituality and definitely into astrology, and I am somebody who comes from a religious background, so that there's no turning up my nose at that at all. But sometimes we have to shift our dynamic around certain words. So when we talk about God, we shift our dynamic a little bit from this, like, this, you know, um, you know, person that has all this power over you to this more omnipotent oneness. When we talk about devil energy, we're not talking about Satan and oh my God, you're going to hell. No, we're talking about an energy of lack. We're talking about an energy of lacking money, lacking love, lacking, support, whatever that weird feeling is that comes over us sometimes. That's what it's kind of felt like for the past couple of weeks. And I felt like in January it was a little bit like smoother sailing, but once we got into February, maybe the second week of February, it got a little bit dense and it got a little bit heavy, and it required discipline to get through it. For me, discipline is discipline of the mentality, discipline of the mindset, right? How I think about things, how I see things, how I process things, what I've decided my life is going to be, what energy I decide I'm going to bring to the table every day, and those types of things. I had a conversation with a friend a while ago, and she was like, "Oh, it's so hard. It's so hard to, stay uplifted. It's so hard to stay positive. It's so hard to keep going, especially when you're doing something that's a little bit different than the background that you come from, or that's a little bit different than you've ever done before, that you've really ever seen anybody do. It's so hard." And I said to her, yes, I see how you can consider it hard, but for me in my life at my point right now, to me, it just feels like a discipline, like if you're talking about yoga practice and the discipline to do it daily or every other day, or a discipline to work out, a discipline to eat properly, a discipline to not drink, a discipline to not smoke, or whatever you are disciplining, a discipline to get up and make your bed every day, whatever your discipline is. Somebody could consider that hard, but you could consider it just a practice that you have decided to do every day. And for me, that was what this process has been for the past couple of weeks is to discipline my mind not to go into a dark space, to go into devil energy, to go into fear or lack or anything like that. And I'm not going to say that I didn't slip into that. We all do. You know what I mean? You all kind of slip into like bad thinking. Maybe your inner dialogue is bad. Maybe you're feeling scared about something. You're feeling tense and tenseness, and maybe not isolating a little bit, not really wanting to be around your friends and family. Those types of emotions that happen at the tail end of winter. And I felt like that really hit me hard over the last couple weeks. And so I wanted to express it here because you guys know that I always am of the mindset that if I'm experiencing something, it is probably something that a lot of us are experiencing, particularly in this collective. You feel me? And so I always do these videos so you're not out here alone in this crazy whatever type of world or whatever type of lifestyle you're living. You're not out here alone in it. A lot of us are experiencing and going through the same things, even as isolating and as individual as the experience, as the energy may seem. It is not always that way. And so that's why I outwardly express what I've been going through. The thing with me, and that I notice with people, is like whenever I come on camera, whenever you see me out, I am going to look like I have it together. That's just the doll. That's just me. Like, I'm never going to look like I'm sucking salt through a wooden spoon. And if you're Jamaican, you know that. If you're Jamaican and you grew up with your grandmother, you know that saying. You are never going to see me looking like I'm sucking salt through a wooden spoon. It's always going to look like the dog got it together. But I am communicative and clear about what I'm actually going through because I want people to understand that just because you don't look like you're going through hard times don't mean that you're not. You know what I mean? You never know. That's why the saying, be kind, because you never know what people are going through. Absolutely applicable to people that look like they're going through hell and to people that look like they live in lavish. You know what I mean? Because we're all going through it. It's a human experience after all. So I say that to say the last couple of weeks have been a little bit rough and energetically heavy for me. The weeks before that were easy peasy, was a little bit more, but I felt like the last couple of weeks were heavy. I also feel like they were heavy because I also feel like, oh, here go good and rich. That's me, never looking like what I'm going through. Some of us just don't look like struggle. You could be struggling, you know what I mean? Cheers to not looking like the struggle that you're actually going through. Clink, 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 clink. You know what I mean? Just because you don't look like struggle, you know what I mean? Just because you don't look like you're sucking salt through a wooden spoon, you know what I mean? Just because you don't look like, poverty, don't mean that you're not going through anything. And here's the deal: even if you do look like struggle, even if you do look like you're sucking salt through a wooden spoon, as long as you keep getting up and going after whatever you need to go after, then what can we say? DB in the building. What's good, DB? I see you follow me over on my new channel. I appreciate you so much. So I do want to say that energetically, that's what I've been going through for the past couple of weeks. And I'm here to encourage. I'm here to still show up for the collective. And I'm here to share with you guys the truth of the reality of just being human at this time, at the tail end of winter, trying to make it through, trying to make it to March. March is the doll's birthday, first day of spring. So I'm just trying to make it to March, and usually after March things go way uphill after that. But for now, we're at the tail end of February, and this is just what it is: heavy emotions, and being able to crank through the changes, being able to be disciplined, being disciplined in connecting to what I've been disciplined about What's really helped me is two things when going through the darker energies or the devil energies or just the darker, heavier energies of the tail end of winter or in any time of life. Two things that I found really helped me. One being discipline, and I'm going back into that word, right? Being disciplined and connecting to myself and to the divine daily. How do I do that? I do that through meditation. I do that through meditation. What exactly is meditation? Meditation is setting aside a certain amount of time. I like to set aside minimum 20 minutes. Sometimes I go into 40 minutes, but no less than 20 minutes for me, where I sit and I intentionally quiet my mind, meaning that I let the thoughts that are always floating around in my mind, I let them settle like feathers. When you throw a feather up in the air and it floats down and gently floats down to the ground and then settles, that is how I envision my thoughts. I just let them float down to the ground and settle, and so that there's a blankness and there's a space and there's a peace that comes over my inner mind and my inner dialogue, so that I can connect to the divine, because you connect to the divine through that silence that you create. You have to let your inner dialogue in your mind, you need to put space between that peace that is within you and that dialogue and that cranking and those thoughts and that anxiety and that work and all of the to-do lists. You need to put space between that. And as you put more space between that, you end up amplifying the peace within you. And in that peace is when the divine can actually communicate to you and channel to you through your heart. So it's essentially quieting your mind and amplifying, elevating your heart so that you can actually hear what the divine is trying to communicate to you in those subtle ways. That is what your intuition is. That's how your intuition speaks. And so it's necessary to connect to that daily if you want to amplify your connection to the divine and be able to be disciplined and strong when you get into that devil energy, when you get into that darkness, when you get into those harder, denser energies that happen to come over us sometimes and come over the collective sometimes. That is the first thing. Okay? That is the first thing. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? All right. The second thing is lean into gratitude. Okay. Before I get into gratitude, let me see what DB is saying. Amen to that. Shutting off is needed to hear yourself and center yourself. Right? Hear yourself and center yourself. Absolutely. Absolutely. To hear yourself and to center yourself. I point to my ear, but it's an inner hearing that you're reaching for. And it comes through first the silence of your mind. The silence of your mind. If you want some other techniques for meditation, sometimes there's alternate nostril breathing. Alternate nostril breathing, which is closing one nostril, breathing, and then closing the other nostril and breathing. And it helps you tune into your breath, so that it will slow your thoughts down and slow your heart rate down so that you're in that peaceful, calm place to be able to connect to self. So if you're interested in meditation, look up alternate nostril breathing. Yeah. I also meditate with music in my ears. So I put on meditative music. So mantras or 528 hertz music, so that it's a music without lyrics. It's a music that is just kind of like maybe a hum, kind of like a mantra type music, because it helps to settle my mind as well. So if sitting in silence, just dead silence in a room is you can't do, you can put in meditation music or a guided meditation. But so long as you let your thoughts relax and float down like feathers float out of the sky onto the earth, and then just let yourself feel the emotions that percolate up. And through those emotions, through your heart space, you'll be able to understand a little bit better and connect a little bit better, feel a little bit more loved, supported, and just loved and supported when you're going through tougher energies. That's the first one. The second one is connect back to appreciation. Whenever you're in like a dark space or anything like that, just start counting out the things that you can appreciate. Even if it's, I appreciate this color pink because it looks good on me. I appreciate that I got my nails painted last week. I really wanted to get my nails painted. I appreciate that I have warm food waiting for me right now. I appreciate, I don't know if you guys can hear that beeping. I got food in the oven. I need to go turn it off. You know, I appreciate, bring yourself to appreciation and call out 3 or 5 things that you appreciate. I appreciate that I have breath in my body right now. I appreciate that I know enough in this moment to just go to appreciation. I appreciate my awareness of that. So those are the 2 things that really, really help when you're going through darker emotions and you need to call on some tools to help you get through it, is you can find time to meditate daily, to be a preemptive kind of discipline before the dark energy kind of like can overcome you and make you nervous and anxious and stressed out and all of those things. Or you can, you know, do kind of not a preemptive or a proactive, but like something, once you're like in the midst of it, you can, if you can just remember to go into appreciation, go into gratitude, go into appreciation, go into gratitude. God, thank you for the sun. You know how many times I wake up and say, thank God for the sun? Thank you, God, for the sun. The sun. The sun. Is sun shining today? Thank God for the sun. The bird, I'm hearing bird. Thank God for the birds. Wow, the birds are singing. Thank God for the birds singing. Thank God for the birds singing. Thank God I woke up today. Thank God I can take a deep. Thank God for breath in my body. Thank God for life. Go to gratitude, and a lot of that darker, heavier, stressful energy will scatter. Will scatter once you, if you can bring your attention to just the few things that you're appreciative for in your life, regardless of all the BS that might be, just the few things that you're appreciative for. Guys, give me a second. I see you guys trickling in here on the live. I appreciate y'all so much. The doll has some food in the oven, and the oven is, oh, I could cook. Oh, I could cook. You thought, oh, you thought it was all just good looks and no cooking? Dear, I can cook. Okay, so let me go turn it off before I burn the oven and the food that I have in there, and I'm gonna come right back. But when we come back, I'm gonna tell you guys why I decided I was this close to completely deleting this channel. I'm gonna tell y'all. Give me 2 seconds. All right. So here's the deal. I got my blanket. All right. So the food is cooked. The chicken is baked. Okay. So we're gonna have food after this live, yeah? All right. So those are the 2 things that I really lean on when I am trying to navigate heavier energies. All right. So hopefully that's been helpful for you guys here. You guys, I see you guys on the live. You know the deal. Come on in, introduce yourself in the comments, or at least smash that like button. At least smash the like button. Help me navigate this algorithm on YouTube. So speaking of YouTube, seeing 333 on the clock, if you're into numbers like I am, let me tell you. The doll went live every single Friday last year and put up content for Vlogmas and travel vlogs and things like that. Now, of course, you know, I didn't have the drone footage and the 4K videos and all of this stuff and all of that, seeing Lil Ernest, Atlanta in this thing. Okay, Atlanta in the building, Atlanta. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Smash that like button. So the doll was trying to get back into her YouTube thing last year. You guys, you know, if you were here on the channel paying attention and all of that, you know that's what I was doing. Now, I didn't expect to like have, well, let me be honest. Like, I felt like there was going to be a little bit more momentum on the channel that I actually saw. And I feel like YouTube has changed quite a bit over the years, which I understood. But I felt like if you put in the time and you put in the dedication, if you were there weekly, showed up, if you did lives like they say you're supposed to do, and I prefer, actually I prefer to do lives and edit videos sometimes, because sometimes I get stuck in the editing process and it takes a long time. And I'm actually somebody who could riff, and I love to connect with you guys live and like see your comments and feel like I'm with the collective. You know what I mean? I'm with gang. You know what I mean? And so I don't mind going live. And so I did that consistently last year, but I didn't see the huge uptick like I felt like I wanted to see. And so it does get a little bit disheartening, because you are pouring your heart out, week after week, and you are cultivating relationships and showing up for the collective and showing up for myself and using my voice. That was the whole goal for going live, more than connecting with the collective, more than showing up for the YouTube algorithm. It was getting back into the practice of using my voice, Again, going back to the word of discipline. That was my discipline from last year. You know what I mean? And so I did that, and your ego do get into it a little bit, and you're like, yo, what's going on? What's good? What's going on? Like, the numbers ain't numbering. The numbers are not numbering. What's going on? And I thought about it, and I said, all right, well, let me change up my content a little bit. And I wanted to go and have a little bit more feminine empowerment content on my channel, particularly talking about power, power. And I wanted to talk about power generally, but I thought that feminine empowerment would be a little bit more in my lane. And I started to produce that content on this channel, and I got a comment from a longtime subby who's usually a silent watcher, like a lot of you guys are. And she was like, you know what, I think, potentially consider starting a new channel, because a lot of YouTubers, when they start to change their content a little bit, or they're not seeing the momentum that they should be seeing when they put in as much work as you've been putting in, they usually try to start a new channel. And I had already thought about that. But I was like, do I need to jump through that hoop? Like, why do I need to jump through hoops to cultivate when I already have my community cultivated here? And I thought about it for a little bit, and I said, you know what, you're right. I'm going to start a new channel for that content. And so that's why you guys saw on this channel, if you see any of my edited videos, and they're separated. So the live videos are in one tab on my page, and then the edited videos are on another tab. That's how YouTube has it separated. You would have seen that I put a video on there saying we need to talk, by YouTube. And it was because I had to make a decision to separate my content. To be transparent with you guys, it's surprising to me, but I don't know if it's surprising to a lot of people. The majority of my audience on this channel are men. And it's not like 49%. It's something like 65% men on this channel. Even though I talk about things from a feminine perspective, even though, I'm effeminate, like, I don't, sit here and do any man bashing, or I don't talk about, all of these kind of things. And, so usually when you do that, I feel like that's when you have all these men watching you to try to rip you apart. I don't have that. I get beer love on this channel. You know what I mean? And it's like 65% men. And I was like, damn, all right, well, where are the ladies at? You know what I mean? I kind of want to talk about this feminine empowerment thing. Let me switch the content over to a new channel and see. Now, I'm still going to invite y'all to go over to the new channel, support that I'll subscribe. But the content over there is really going to be talking about empowerment. And the truth be told, it's called an Empowered Women series, but there's elements of what I'm talking about that can be embodied in a masculine or a feminine. You know what I mean? Because you guys know that there's a balance and harmony within all of us. So we all have masculine elements, and we all have feminine elements with it that reside within us. You know what I mean? And so I just decided to amplify that a little bit and take my career in that direction a little bit more. So that's why I have that channel. But I'm still going to try to show up for the collective here. When I do my travel vlogs, I don't have the newest stuff that the people have with the 4K drones and all of that. But I still want to express to you guys that life is beautiful, especially when you travel. You guys know I have my travel alchemy course that I'm still going to be pushing out. I have an email list for that. If you're interested in being on the email list for that, chime in the comments or DM me on Instagram. Slide in my DM on Instagram and let me know your email address, and I will put you on the email list for my email list and for my travel alchemy email list. I have both. So let me show you guys. This is my let me put my Instagram on in a chat. That's my Instagram at Iskel. So if you want to be keeping the loop outside of YouTube, you want to be in the email list, you want to just support me, then definitely let me know. Hit me up in my DMs on Instagram, and I will add your email to my email list. All right. So that's kind of why I put that video up saying like, all right, deuces YouTube. It's just to get a little bit of attention and shake up the algorithm a little bit, because to be putting in a lot of effort and to get like 20 views and something like that, like I'll deal with it, you know what I mean? Because regardless, I know my content is top tier, and I know what I'm talking about, and I know the love that I have for the community and the collective, you know what I mean? And so regardless if it's 20 views now, next year, 2 years from now, it'll be 100 and whatever, it's only going to build from here. But it was that element of being disciplined to still show up and to not be so down on myself when the numbers weren't reflecting what I felt like they should. You know what I mean? And that's a lot of people's issue when you're putting in the hard work, when you're putting in an effort that you feel like is a notable effort, and you're not necessarily seeing the results that you anticipated or that you expected, how you deal with that, how you continue to show up. You know what I mean? And so I'm going to continue to show up. It's just that I'm going to have to leave some more space for me to receive, as opposed to, be driving so hard towards these kind of, you know, these kind of goals that may or may not happen. But regardless, the love is there, and I see you guys showing up for me for the live tonight, and so I appreciate that. And I hope that whenever I touch this stage, whenever I get before this camera, whenever I get on this platform, you come away with something, you feel a little bit more uplifted, you feel a little bit happier, you feel a little bit more empowered, whether you are a male or a female. On this channel, it's majority men. You know what I mean? So regardless if you're a male or a female, whenever I touch this camera, I want you to walk away feeling a little bit more grounded and empowered in who you are and your connection to your intuition and your connection to the divine. That is my goal. That is my goal. Not always trying to sell something, not always trying to ask for something, not always some consumerism or capitalism, but reminding you that your abundance, that it comes in your connection to the divine and to yourself and in your intuition. Cheers. Clink, 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 clink. I'm sipping on a little spiked lemonade. I don't know if I told you that earlier. Well, we have the evil eye on here. You know what I mean? No bad mind around here. Okay. And just a little spiked lemonade, right? All right. So we talked about the energy for the week. We talked about why the doll almost quit YouTube. If you want to support, let me know if you want to support me. Slide in my DMs on Instagram. And slide in my comments here. Like the video. Make sure you're subscribed to both of my channels. That's the number one way you can support. And share and like the content with those who you think would benefit from what we talk about over here on the collective. And we're going to keep it pushing. Yeah. All right. New channel. Super new moon. Did want to let you guys know that on Sunday, not only are we going into Pisces season, which, is the dolls, which, is the best season. Okay. On Sunday, on the 19th, we are slipping from Aquarius season into dreamy, watery, deep, mystical, masterful, prophetic, psychic, intuitive sign of Pisces. Okay. This is the last sign of the zodiac. This is number 12. And not only are we headed into Pisces season, we are seeing a super new moon. So that means there will be no moon in the sky, seeing 333 on the clock if you're into numbers like I am. Okay. There will be no moon in the sky, so it will be dark. But there's something super about it. I believe it's the second one for the month or something like that. I don't really know. But there's something very impactful about it. And whenever there's new moons or full moons, energetically, emotionally, we can be pulled and tossed and turned in different ways. And so those tips that we talked about earlier about how to deal with the heavier energies, they will be applicable this weekend. All right. So I hope you was taking little notes, or you remembered what we talked about in terms of your meditation and your daily connection to yourself, your daily silencing of the thoughts that are running through your mind, your daily connection to the divine and divine love, and being poured into, and remembering that you are supported and that you are loved and that you are connected and that you are not alone. You are not alone. Remembering that, and also remembering to call out 3 things that you're grateful for, 5 things that you're grateful for: the sun. I'm grateful for the sun. I'm grateful for Pisces season. Oh, Pisces season finna be lit. I'm grateful for, the birds singing outside. I'm grateful for a warm house, man. I could have been outside sleeping under a bridge. I'm not. That grateful for this internet connection so I could support the doll, support Kels and the collective. Grateful to be able to go back and watch some other videos on the channel and just refresh my empowerment and refresh my strength and my discipline in myself and my mindset and how I speak to myself and how I walk through the day and step into a room. You know what I mean? Anything that you can call on to amplify in appreciation, that's what you do. You know what I mean? Remember, those were the 2 tips there. So when that super new moon comes in and that Pisces season comes in and this end of winter comes in and the deeper, darker, heavier emotions sweep in, you have tools in your toolbox to bop. I'm gonna try that. Okay, I might need to hydrate. I might need more water. I might need to go drink 2 glasses of water right now. I might need to go outside and ground. Even in the cold, I might need to go outside and hug a tree. I might need to just go sit in the sun outside for 2 minutes and just let the sun beat down on my skin. I might just let the breeze over me. I might just take 3 deep breaths outside. I might just connect to nature and I might go walk my dog. I might go play with my cat, whatever it is. But just remember that you have tools in your toolbox to navigate when we get that super new moon on this Sunday and we head into Pisces season and we're still at the end of winter. Another thing I want to let you guys know is that what they've been talking about me, and I keenly watch Pisces because that is my sun. My moon is actually Scorpio and my rising is actually Cancer. So the doll has a grand water trine. If you're into astrology, the doll has a grand water trine. So that is the reason why I am the way that I am. But another thing is that Saturn is moving into Pisces. So I'm gonna just leave that right there. If that sounds interesting to you, just Google it. But for the next 3 years, Saturn is going to be in the sign of Pisces. And so if Pisces plays a big part in your chart, just know that Saturn is going to be all up and through there creating drama. Okay. But it's not going to be too bad. But anyway, that's enough astrology and energetics of what's going on. But I do pay attention to that stuff because for me, it does play a part. And very similar to how the moon governs the tides and the movement of the ocean here on Earth. And just as much as we are 70 to 85% water in our bodies, imagine how much the full moon and the new moon and the super moon and the eclipses and the solstices and the equinox, how all of those things affect us. If they can move the tides of the ocean, understand that that same energetics can move you emotionally. All right. So cheers. Clink, 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 clink. So traveling. The doll's going to Aspen. I'm going skiing. I'm doing a winter trip. Hold on. Let me see. Ajani says, a grand water trine. You're a spiritual guide and heavenly protected. Oh my gosh. Thank you, sis. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's a moon and the Pisces is good. Let me tell you about the moon in Scorpio. Wow. That's definitely what's a good, how do I express that? That is character building. That is character building. Okay. So yes, the grand water trine. I appreciate that. A grand water trine. You are a spiritual guide and heavenly protected. I accept that. I honor that. I feel that. So, Aspen. So the doll is going Aspen. Aspen is in Colorado. We're doing a winter holiday this year. Now, I always travel in February because February is a very difficult month. And I say that and I make it clear because I didn't know that. I'm a Miami girl. The doll is from Miami. You know what I mean? And so I didn't realize it wasn't until I started living in colder places where it snowed and where it was a true winter, I would have a headache for the entire month of February. And I wouldn't understand why I was so outside of myself. in February, and it took me years to realize, oh, winter, oh, the lack of sun, oh, the lack of vitamin D. So what can I do about that? And so I up my vitamin D, up my sleep, up my water, pull for those tools that we talked about earlier in the broadcast when you're dealing with those deeper, darker emotional energies, and also put a vacation in February to break up the monotony of that month. Now, for me, since March is the doll's birthday, in March, I always feel the momentum pick up and kick up. I usually say, oh, it's probably because I'm born in March, right? So my body, muscle memory of coming bursting into the world and bursting on the scene in March. So I'm like, in March, I always feel good. I'm ready to be born. You know what I mean? I'm ready to be born again. You know what I mean? But in February, there's this restlessness, which makes sense because imagine if I was in the womb in February, that's when it would be getting real tight. It would be getting real uncomfortable, you know what I mean? And the baby doll will be ready to, burst out in March, you know what I mean? And so I always thought, damn, February is a very difficult month. And so I would always place a holiday in February. Normally I would go someplace where the sun would be blazing hot. You know what I mean? Just because in February I could lay out in the sun and bake and bask in the warmth and be fed and be comforted and be nurtured by the sun. Thank God for the sun. But this year the doll decided to join some friends in Aspen. So we're going to be doing skiing. We're going to be doing snowmobiling. We're going to be doing hot cocoa by the fire. We're going to be doing winter jacuzzi. We're going to be doing all of these winter things. You know what I mean? Altitudes are going to be super, super high because we're going to be up on the mountain. And so I am going to vlog a little bit and take you guys with me. I will put that content here on this channel. On my other channel, I'm still going to be doing some empowerment content. So we might be talking about some things that we find empowering about travel. There's some things that we find empowering about, whatever I come up with, having to relate to empowerment and self-confidence and learning from others in that strong, powerful state. That will be over on the other channel. It's called It's Kel's Mindset, and it's linked here on this channel. You can see it. So that's going to be over there. But for now, the Aspen trip is going to be vlogged on this channel. So that's coming up in the next few weeks. All right. Do you guys have any travels? What y'all doing? Y'all spring break? What? No spring break? What's happening? Y'all need to let me know. Y'all need to let me know. Santi in the building. Kels in the flesh. In the flesh. Cheers. Clink, 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 clink. The doll is here. Oh, let's go Travel Alchemy. Travel Alchemy. Masterclass.com. Strong. You know what I mean? The transformative power of travel. You guys know I stay on a plane. That's my favorite. I feel like I tell people all the time, I feel like the airport is my favorite place. Like literally it's my favorite place. Whenever I get to an airport, I just know a paradigm shift is coming in. I know when I go on this trip and when I come back from this trip, shit about to be different. It about to be different. And that's what I talk about a lot in the course. Thank you, Santhia, for bringing that up, sis. I appreciate you so much. That's one of the things I talk about in my Travel Alchemy course. I call it a travel education course, and it's a travel education, but it's a travel mindset course. So it's not about, oh, okay, I want to travel, but it's talking about the mindset of a traveler who understands that traveling is not just some frivolous thing that you do sometimes. It can be, right? But what you have to understand is usually when you're being called to travel, you're being ushered through a portal. You're being ushered into a new state of being. You're being ushered into a new reality. You know what I mean? You're being ushered onto a new timeline. And those are the things that we never really talk. We don't talk about the deep shit. We always talk about this little, okay, I'm in Puerto Rico. I'm about to take these pictures in a bikini. Yeah, that's all well and done. But when you level up, you start to understand that there's certain things, certain chapters, certain aspects of your life that really change things for you. Smash that like button. If you're still here 44 minutes into the live, smash the like button. Share the content. Make sure you subscribe to this channel and It's Kel's Mindset linked on this channel. I'd appreciate the support. Y'all know I was whinging. The Brits call it whinging. In the United States, we call it whining. I was whining a little bit about how YouTube is just stifling, but that's okay. I'm still going to show up for the collective. Okay? But I'd appreciate you guys to get some momentum behind the thing for me. I'd really appreciate that. So however you seem fit, however you feel it fit to do that, I appreciate it. So travel. So when you really get deep into your level up game, when you really get deep into your empowerment game, you start to realize that there's more to travel than just to go someplace and take pictures, or go someplace and stuff your face with some food, or go someplace and try to run into the most Instagrammable location that you can. You have to understand that there is something else deeper that's happening when you're really truly into this level up game. And for me, coming back, going to Aspen, I can already feel that I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what I'm being called to. I don't know what opportunities are going to come. I don't know what energy I'm going to be transformed into after that trip. But I understand my life, and I understand how travel has continually opened doors for me. And so if you're interested in learning about that and understanding that in your own life, or if you hear me talking and you get goosebumps, or you hear me talking and you feel like, damn, I really resonate with that, check out Travel Alchemy Masterclass, because I talk deeply about that, and you need to see that course. You need to see that course. I'm going to be dropping other courses as well in the future, but that is my first one. And so if you want to support the thing, check that out. What y'all saying in the comments? DB says Jamaican wedding May 20th. So still spring. May is still spring. Okay, that's Taurus season. The 20th might be the zodiac sign right after Taurus, but early May is Taurus season. All right. So is that your wedding, DB? Are you finally getting married? Are you finally getting married, DB? Oh, hold on now. Do we have our cheers in order? Our cheers in order for your wedding, DB. Come on, let's do collective. Hear ye. We gotta give cheers to DB on getting married in Jamaica for spring this year, 2023. Yes, my wedding. Are we invited? Can we pull up? Cheers to DB and his beautiful fiance on their wedding in Jamaica in May. Look at that. Look at God. Yes. Cheers to love. Cheers to love for all of us in the collective. Cheers to love for 2023. That is a beautiful sign. I love that for you. Congratulations. DB is off to Jamaica for his wedding. Where else are y'all going? What's happening with the travels this year? Cheers. Santia's sipping on some Henny. Some Henny. Henny and a Plan B. Y'all know Sukiana Ratchet. She said, all I need is some Henny and a Plan B. Santia says, it goes deep. Oh my OMG. The answer to my travel lack since 2019. Oh, Travel Alchemy Masterclass. I appreciate you, sis. Johnny says, yes. Heart. Appreciate you, sis. Johnny, where are you based? Where are you at, sis? Let me know. What city? You up in Atlanta? Somebody in here earlier was from Atlanta. It was Lil Ernest. I like that name. Lil Ernest said he or she's in Atlanta. Correct me on y'all pronouns. Y'all know I don't want to mess up no programs. Johnny said yes. DB, yes, his wedding. All love. Johnny says clink, clink, clink. Cheers. I said, DB, are we invited to the wedding? DB said, yeah, roll up. Congrats in the building for DB. Oh, Santhia, yes, Mardi Gras. Now, Mardi Gras, I believe, happened last week. And guess what, sis? Why am I seeing everybody in Trinidad for Carnival right now? And I'm low-key jealous. I never once even wanted to go to Trinidad for Carnival. And for some reason this year, I'm seeing the pictures. And I'm like, yo, I'm kind of jealous that these people are having such a good time in Carnival in Trinidad. So how was Mardi Gras? How was Mardi Gras? Where else are we traveling for this year, Guy? Anything for spring? My family, they're in South Carolina right now. They did a road trip to South Carolina. And so even you don't even have to get on a plane. You don't even have to get on a plane. Just get in a car. Just drive somewhere. Just do a staycation in your city. There's beautiful hotels in your city, even just to shake it up for the weekend and go and do a staycation at someplace an hour away. Definitely will change things for you. Right? Johnny says, moving to Louisiana from Greenville. So what is that? Greenville, South Carolina, North Carolina? Where's Greenville? I don't know where that is, but I know Louisiana. And you know who else is in Louisiana? Cynthia. Cynthia is in New Orleans. So we got two people who are drawn to Louisiana in the collective tonight. Clink, clink, clink. Yes. Okay. Cynthia says, aha, I know. So colorful. It's so crazy. Here, Mardi Gras is 21st, so times 10. Is it the 21st of February? Oh, so it's coming up. It's coming up. It's coming up. Hey, Johnny, come on. South Carolina, yes, from New York, New Jersey, got you. Yeah, my family is in South Carolina right now. Some of my family's in South Carolina right now, so there's a tie there. And then DB saying, yes, Mardi Gras, I've been to a few, went to school in Reston at something. Okay, so it looks like we got a few people that's drawn to New Orleans or drawn to Louisiana in the collective. I love that for us. I love that for us, yeah. So let me see. So we talked about the new channel. We talked about the energetics of the super new moon, of Pisces season, of Saturn going into Pisces. We talked about Aspen. We talked about Travel Alchemy Masterclass and the new channel and all of that. I do ask, so I have to be clear and transparent with you guys. Before I come on the live, I do quiet my mind a little bit just for a few moments before I come on the live, because I want to make sure that I'm delivering to you guys what needs to be said, and what you might need to hear, those of us who join us live or those of us who are part of replay. Gang, regardless, like the video, drop your comments in the chat or drop your comments in the comment section below this video, whether you're watching us live or on the replay. So I do ask to be able to be a clear conduit and a clear channel for what needs to be said to the collective, whether it's just vibes, and energy, or whether it is actually something that needs to come out of my mouth. And when I asked about that, Spirit kind of said, or I kind of got the feeling or the sense that there was this call for tenacity and fortitude and stick-to-itiveness and encouragement on the journey, on the ascension, as we step into different stages of our life. So whether you are getting married like DB, or whether you are starting a new business like myself, or whether you're an existing business owner and entrepreneur expanding like Cynthia, or whether you are watching this silently tonight, because I can see you guys' numbers on the lives, even though you're not chiming in on the chat, but I do get text messages sometimes after the live, or I get text messages, are you going live tonight, Cows? The doll is here. Regardless of whatever stage you are in life, 2023 is going to be a year that stuff is going to be moving, and moving much more rapidly and intensely than it had been in 2022 and 2021, and definitely in 2020. And not only are things going to be moving more rapidly in 2023 in all of our individual lives and all of our individual circumstances, things are different. Think back to 2019 and think back to now. Think to now. Things are dramatically different in how we operate day to day. We are not going backwards into any old normal. Everything is a new normal. And when you come to a new normal and you've come out of a tower moment like what we've come out of, a tower moment is when things kind of crumble and there is a strike of lightning that comes and changes the dynamic of everything, like how the pandemic changed the dynamic of everything for us. When you come out of something like that alive, glory be to God, you have to start fresh and start new. So even if you think you're doing the same old things, even if you think you're going to the same job, or even if you think you're in the same relationship, or even if you think you're in the same body, or even if you think you have these same similar things that are happening around you, things are dramatically different. Energetically, we are in a dramatically new place. And whenever you are in a dramatically new place, it calls for a renewal of your internal fortitude in what you are doing, what you are thinking, where you are going, and how you are embodying and moving through this world on a day-to-day. And some days you can be super strong and super passionate and super feeling confident, and sometimes something comes through and knocks the wind out of you. But understand that even when the wind gets knocked out of you, even when, even when they bop, 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 even when you get the wind and the dog ish knocked out of you, you can go to sleep, you can take a nap, and you can start again fresh the next day, because the sun must rise. The sun must rise. You might not rise, but the sun will. And so the tenacity and the fortitude and the figuring out a way to be okay where you are now, if you're in a darker place, or you're in a stressed place, or if you're unsure, or if you're scared, or you're feeling lonely, or if you're feeling like you don't have enough, or if you don't have enough money, even if you're living that in the moment, understanding that there is space and there's an opportunity for things to get even just 1% better. Even if it's not even the same day, even tomorrow, it can be 1% better. I can be in a 1% better mood tomorrow. I can be 1% more confident tomorrow. I can be 1% more joyful tomorrow. I can be 1% more grounded tomorrow. 1%. It's no heroics. Ain't nobody asking you to be the Black Panther. Ain't nobody asking you or expecting you to be Superman, Superwoman, Catwoman, who them Spider-Man. Ain't nobody asking you, Green Lantern, I don't know what, Super Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, ain't nobody asking you to all of that. Nobody's asking you for heroics. Nobody's expecting heroics. 1%, 1% more appreciation, 1% grounded, 1% happier, 1%, 1%. Spirit told me when I said, what do I need to say? Tenacity, stick to it. As we are rebuilding, everything is being rebuilt. Who you are as a person, your personal identity might even be being rebuilt from scratch. Luckily, you don't lose all the work that you did before. You know what I mean? So we're not starting from scratch like we're a newborn infant baby. You're starting from the knowledge and the wisdom that you've gained, but you're rebuilding into something new, into something greater. And tenacity is required. Discipline has been my word for this week. Discipline is required. Discipline your mind. Discipline to know 1% happier, just 1% appreciation. 1%. I can do that. No heroics. Yeah. Cheers. Clink, 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 clink. Yeah. Shifting of the mindset, that 1%. What y'all saying in the comments? If you're moving states like a Johnny, she says excited and nervous. Lake Charles next month. All right. Okay. Johnny said this pandemic had us stepping more into our purpose. Absolutely. Spirit said, y'all sit y'all behinds down and face yourself. Face yourself. When you go into meditation, I think one of the reasons why people are so frightened of meditation, I think one of the reasons why people are so frightened to quiet their mind and the frenetic pace of their mind, trying to make this person happy, make this kid happy, and make this husband happy, and make this job happy, make this money and get this body and eat this food. And the reason why we are so addicted to Instagram and addicted to TikTok and addicted to TV and addicted to distracting ourselves in life is because you're afraid to face yourself. You're afraid to face yourself. And this pandemic had us stepping more into our purpose. You know what the first step of stepping into your purpose is? Know thyself. You can't know your purpose until you know yourself. You can't know yourself until you can face yourself. God had to send down a whole plague down here for us to sit down and face ourselves. Imagine that. They had to send a whole plague not as a punishment, but as a promise. Johnny's throwing up amen in the building. Yes, I miss you on Fridays. Yes. You know, I was thinking about going on Mondays, but I don't know. On Mondays, I don't be feeling it. On Mondays, I be just trying to get to the gym and get in my bag. You know what I mean? Start up this new endeavor that I'm trying to work on. You know what I mean? If you're interested in learning more about this endeavor that I'm working out career-wise, drop your email address in my DMs on Instagram or here in the chat if you're so inclined, and I'll put you on the email list so you know what the dollar's up to on the day to day. But on Mondays, I'll be really just trying to get in my bag and get my mind focused to do what I need to do for the week. But it be on Fridays when I'm ready to like just pop my shit. You know, it just be Fridays that I'm just like, you know what? First of all, I ain't going nowhere on a Friday night. I'll be tired. I'll be wanting to kick up my feet and eat some good food. You know what I mean? And chill and relax. You know what I mean? And so it'd be Fridays that I'd be like, all right, let's reconnect with the connective. So I'm gonna try to continue to do this. Yeah. But I ain't gonna be going hard like I went last year. You know what I mean? Unless these numbers jump up miraculously, the dog just gotta do what I gotta do. You know what I mean? Cynthia is saying rebuilding Cynthia 4.0, new chapters, big ships, big ships. That was another thing. Music has been so instrumental to me. I had a cousin this week lose her father. And you guys know that in 2020, I lost my father. And she is a little bit more vocal than I am. She's much younger, and she wrote it on Facebook. Oh, you know, because she had lost her mother like 3 years ago. And she's a young girl, right? And then she recently lost her father. And I couldn't figure out, I didn't have the words to say. I didn't have the words to say. And a couple days later, she wrote something about, oh, I'm in love with, she said Burna Boy, Wizkid, and Thames got her in a chokehold. And I was like, yes, sis. So I had to jump in. I said, yes, let the music, if it seems hopeless, turn to the music. And I dropped some music in there that I really thought would be uplifting music. Happens to be all Afro beats and reggae. But, you know, it is what it is. But for me, music has been instrumental in shifting the energies of those darker energies as well. So we talked about meditation as the first tool to do that. We talked about appreciation and gratitude as the second tool to do that. We talked about going out into nature and grounding as a third way to do that. Fourth, music. The music that you listen to can change the energy of the space, can change your personal energetics. I talked about using mantra music when I do my meditations, right? Mantra or self-Fredo beats or something like that. You know, the music without any lyrics is just like vibration. You know, music really, really helps that. And so I sent her some songs to listen to. So whenever we're starting new chapters, whenever we're building into the next chapter, like we're all doing in 2023, you can lean on the music as well. The song that has been coming up for me is by Freddie McGregor. It's called Big Ship. And it's an old-time record. And it's one of them slower reggae beats. But it just felt like I took up space when I listened to that song. Like I felt it's talking about big ship sailing on the ocean, meaning that I am the master of my faith. I'm the captain of my soul. I am governing this ship that is moving on the ocean. And I roll with the waves. I ebb and flow with the waves of the ocean to move this life forward. Big Ship by Freddie McGregor has been a song that I've been listening to this week. And I hope that you guys are listening to it as well. Doobie saying, Johnny, you are right. The pandemic was a mental reset on purpose. Absolutely. Look, remember when they said we was going to be in lockdown for 6 weeks? It's 3 years later. And people still are masked up. We're still trying to figure out, like, wait, what? Oh, my God, we lost 3 years. Just like the Spanish plague in, 1918? And it took them 3 years? Look at us now, 2023. Okay? Cynthia said, money, bag of money. Let's go me, too. Yes. Money. All right, sis. Bob Marley Redemption song. Absolutely. Absolutely. Santia says, music is healing. Lost my mom 5 years ago. I danced for her. Absolutely. I'd be dancing with my dad because music, he was the one who brought all the music in the house. He had all the records and all the music. And so sometimes it took me a while though to play some certain songs because I would just feel so sad. But I recognize one thing I want to say to you guys that has been a real awakening for me. And as I said it earlier in the broadcast, the doll is a grand water trine. So I'm very, 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 very sensitive. Okay. And one of the things I realized is that I would listen to music and then I would get a little bit sad because I would feel like it would be a little bit too nostalgic and it would bring back too many memories of my dad. But one of the things that I found myself doing more recently is understanding that whenever I listen to music or I get that sense of missing my dad, switching my mindset around that to say that he's actually present with me in spirit. So it's so funny how your body and your mind reacts to certain things because your mind is saying he's not here, he's not here, he's dead, he's passed on, and she's not here, she's not here, she's died and she's passed on. And then when you listen to music or you come to a memory where you remember them, you feel lack because you feel like their presence is missing physically. But how I switched my mindset around that was saying that what if that means that energetically I'm remembering him because he is present with me? And so instead of looking for him where he's not, which is physical, looking for him where he is, which is spiritual. So a lot of times I'll play music and I'll feel my dad, and instead of being like, oh, I miss my dad, I would just be like, hey daddy, and talk to him like he's there because he is. You know what I mean? But his presence is different. His presence is different. It's not a physical presence. Amen to music. I always pick up my guitar to find a meditative mode. Absolutely. In that zone, playing the guitar. In that zone. Clay, this is in the building. 3 years. Absolutely. We're in 2023. You know what I mean? We're in 2023. You know what I mean? Clay is saying, I've been listening to meditation videos and positive affirmation tapes now. Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to do my own. So you guys know that music is very important to me. And I kind of wanted to I have a studio. I have all the equipment and all of that. I want to do a meditation track or like an affirmations track. But I picked out some music, and you guys know I want to do podcasts as well. There's just so many ideas. And I've picked out some music and some things like that, but I would love to do something like that and put out, not for sale, but just like on the channel. You feel me? I'm gonna try to work towards that. What else are you guys saying? What else are you guys saying? I might have to call it. Cynthia saying, do it. What is Clay talking about? I'm looking forward to the new year that begins next month, according to you. Planting seeds. Absolutely. Thank you for the reminder, Clay. So here's the deal. Spring. Spring is actually when the year begins. I know we do January 1st. Oh, new year. But we're in the dead of winter. Do you see any plants blooming or any projects jumping forward or anything in nature? When you look at nature on January 1st, what is nature doing? Half of it is dead. Half of it is hibernating. Half of it is naked, cold, and afraid. So not afraid, but naked and cold. You know what I mean? Everything is in a reset mode. So January 1st, while it's on the calendar as, okay, the first of the year, and oh my God, in terms of consumerism and capitalism and corporate, ideology that we're all under the tyranny of, they make it seem like January is something when we should be jumping forward and going forward to these big things. But the reality is, if we look at nature, January 1st is when we should be sleeping and keeping our behind in the house warm, if you are in the northern hemisphere. Now, if you're in the southern hemisphere, that's different because it's summer in January 1st in the southern hemisphere. But in the northern hemisphere, like the vast majority of us are on the channel right now, it's winter. Now, when does winter change into spring? Pisces season. Around March 19th, March 20, March 21st, the doll's birthday, becomes spring. So when it comes spring, the flowers come back, the blooms come back, the trees fill out, the birds start to sing, the worms and the bugs and everything wakes up from its hibernation, and it starts to spring into action in the month of March. March, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, march forward. So it is of my opinion, and a lot of other people that follow nature a bit more closely and abide by nature a bit more closely and abide by their intuition a bit more closely, that March is the true beginning of the year. And so for me, I feel like there's going to be a lot of big things happening for me in March, one of which is going to be participating in something that Clay here in the chat is putting together, an interview and a panel discussion in March. And so that is going to kick off my March after I come from Aspen, because I'll be in Aspen through the beginning part of March. And so that's when I feel like things going to get real zesty. Things going to get real spicy. And so, yeah, looking forward to March and spring and all of those things. Perfect timing for your wedding, DB, to be in May. May is still in spring. You know, March, April, May, spring. So, yeah, cheers to the new year. Seeing 111 on the clock if you're into numbers like I am. Let's get it popping. You know what I mean? What is everybody drinking? I'm drinking a little rum and lemonade, spiked lemonade for the doll. What are y'all drinking? XIKRX, hi, late to the party. Oops. What is everybody drinking? Cynthia being nosy, she want to know. Smash that like button, chime in the comments, let me know what y'all drinking. You know the deal. Clay said, you've in part taught me that time is a social construct a few months back. Absolutely. You have to know, earlier in the broadcast, Clay, I was talking about how in February it can be very, very challenging because we are at the tail end of winter. And at the tail end of winter, there's a little bit of fatigue that happens with your body and with your mindset and with your tenacity to keep going because you're a little bit drained. It's a lack of sun. It's a lack of energy. And whenever you're moving from one paradigm into the next, whenever you're moving from winter into spring, or from spring into summer, or from summer into fall, or from fall into winter, whenever you're going through any shift in your life, it becomes a little bit tumultuous. There's a little bit of a rub because whenever there's change, there is a new finagling of the new, of a new normalizing of the new. You know what I mean? And so February can be a very, very difficult month for folks. And so, you know, even though people are telling you that you should be going and getting, hustling, all of this in the dead middle of winter, and your body and your mind is telling you opposite, you could feel like an imposter. You can feel like a failure because you're not as productive as everybody else is faking to be. When the reality is your body is telling you in the middle of winter to go sit down. So be gentle on yourself, or be appreciative of yourself, or be proud of yourself of just how productive you're being in the dead middle of winter when every other mammal is hibernating. So it doesn't mean don't be productive. It just means be aware and be appreciative and proud of yourself, of moving through a season that is traditionally, nature-wise, meant for you to rest. And the only reason why we are not doing that is because we are in a capitalistic society, a system that requires us to be productive, contrary to what nature is asking us to do. So as long as you're aware, you know what I mean? Just be aware. Just be aware and be proud and happy of yourself of being able to produce contrary to what nature might be wanting your body to do. So rest more and feel comfortable doing that. And then be appreciative of yourself of being able to still produce. You know what I mean? And so it's just I just express this to you guys to bring your awareness to it for you to feel more empowered. Yeah. Easter, the beginning of the new year, the rebirth The rebirth happens in Easter. DB is sipping on Jamaican rum orange juice with a slice of pineapple. Yes, tropical rum punch. Not DB sipping on rum punch. H2O. H2O, you guys know by the end of last year, I was sipping on water to keep that throat chakra lubricated. One of the biggest things you can do to soothe and to ground is to drink a big glass of water and hydrate. Hydrate. Whenever you're trying to integrate new energies, whenever you're shifting in any way, whenever time is shifting, seasons are shifting, Santhia 4.0, moving to a different state like Ajani, getting married, starting a new business, starting a new enterprise like how I'm doing. Hydrate to integrate those new energies and make the road a little bit smoother. Big ship sailing on the ocean. You feel me? DB is showing off. He talking about he cooked seared scallops with shrimp stuffing. You know how I do. Yes. Show off, DB. Yes. Love that for you. I just roasted a chicken. That's it. That's it. Sounds delicious. Sandia says, I'm in a state of ease. Damn, Mardi Gras, I'm doing acupuncture, meditation, and yoga and me. Oh, you doing you? You doing you? Do you, boo? Doing you, boo? I did my acupuncture. I did 4 sessions last year. And I had asked the divine, I asked spirit, I asked for my inner guidance. Do I want to continue with acupuncture? And recently I've been thinking like, I think I want to do a few more sessions. And so I might work that out. But I really did like acupuncture. I really think it opened doors for me. Johnny said, whew, a word. Yes. So I do these videos so you know you're not out here alone in this sometimes crazy living, loving, leveling up, dating, working, entrepreneurship, moving, getting married world. If this is your first time here, I'd love to have you subscribe, smash that like button, whether you're a part of the live or if you're a part of replay gang. And if you're an oldie, but a goodie, I appreciate you guys so much for being here with me. I love the love. And I will continue to show up for the collective, regardless of YouTube doing their thing. But you know, sooner or later, it's going to pick up and kick up. But I will remember the day ones. I'll remember the day ones. If that is all for tonight, guys, I will wish you guys good night, gang. All right, guys, I will see you guys again soon. Be sure to check out the new channel. It's Kel's Mindset. That is for more of a feminine audience, but you can still support because we all have feminine energy. And then we have this current channel. It's Kel's. It actually has a more masculine audience to it when I look at the numbers. And so, you know, the doll loves the gentleman. And so I think it's a beautiful balance of the masculine and the feminine. And I will continue to pour into both. And so I hope that you guys join me and that you support. And yeah, slide in my DMs on IG if you want to join any of my email lists. I will add you on there and you will hear more in the future. With that being said, have a beautiful night. Good night. Thank you for joining us, Ajani. Great to have you here. Bye, guys. Night, sis.